What is going on, guys? My name is Taylor Stuber. I'm here to break down week number 2 of the NFL slate on Draftkings.com. If you guys are new here or haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Comment below with your favorite play of the week as well. Let's start a discussion. If you guys haven't done so already as well, make sure to join the Discord. That link is down below, completely free to join. We have about 1,200 members in there. Just chopping it up each and every day. If you guys want my more extensive content, player props for DraftKings, FanDuel, my full FanDuel lineups, prize picks plays, underdog plays, Thrive Fantasy plays, make sure to join that Patreon down below. Only $25 for the month, and it seems like a pretty good deal considering the start we've had so far and all the work I put into it. I think it is more than a fair enough deal. Yeah, but let's just jump right into it. I foreshadowed a bit earlier when talking about it, but yeah, this ThriveFantasy.com deal, you kind of need to take advantage of it, in my opinion. Right now, they are providing a 100% match bonus up to $100 when using my code Stuber, S-U-B-E-R, or the link down below in the description or in the pinned comment. But these contests just aren't filling. They are guaranteed, and last week, their big contest only filled up 45%. And then this week, as I'm recording this, is only 1% full. 27 of 2,800 people. These aren't going to fill, and so when you're trying to be profitable over the course of a season, you need to be taking advantage of these match bonuses and these deposit bonuses and all this overlay that we're potentially going to get. I don't think we're necessarily going to get this this overlay moving forward after this week. We may, but again, I think that we are going to see like some severe overlay over here, and you need to be taking advantage of that. And if you guys want some help with your picks, make sure to hit me up in the Discord or on Twitter. Again, that is code Stuber, S-U-B-E-R. Link is down below. But this is my first look, so I'm just going to go over some of my favorite plays at each position at a first glance. I'll have my more extensive cheat sheet and tiers out on the Patreon later in the week, as well as a video. But we'll start with the quarterback position. Now, I'm really focusing on one game this week in both the quarterbacks in this game, and then there's one other quarterback that I'm somewhat interested in, and that is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Chargers. We go over here to FantasyLabs.com, their Vegas tool. 55.5 point over under, up 3.5 points since open, with only 61% of the bets being on the over. Usually when you see something swing that much, that's when like 80% of the bets are coming in on one side, but it's only 61%. So a lot of sharper money coming in on the Cowboys and Chargers to hit the over. And I agree. I mean, going back to and watching that first game between the Cowboys and Buccaneers, the Bucs could do pretty much whatever they wanted against the Cowboys, and the only reason they didn't score more is just because there was some pretty abnormal turnovers by the Buccaneers, but they could have easily put up mid 40s numbers against this team. And I think this Chargers offense, not as good as the Bucs, but I think they are here. I think they are a legit contender this year. Top 6, top 7 offense in the league, if not a bit better. I think they should be able to score at will at home against the Cowboys. And then the Cowboys on the other side, I mean, they just completely went away from the run, which was surprising to see that they did the sharp thing and kind of just let it rely on the shoulders of Dak Prescott throwing 58 times. We saw that Zeke didn't play all that much in the rushing attack. Tony Pollard got in there a bunch as well on the receiving downs. I think we're going to see a similar situation where this game is going to be through the air for both of these teams, but mostly Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. He is only 6,800. And again, if he's going to throw 50-plus attempts and rush the ball, I think this is way too cheap for him. I think he should be in the range of where Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray are, especially since they are likely to be trailing in this game if Vegas entails that. I also don't mind Justin Herbert. I prefer Prescott, don't mind Herbert. And then Jalen Hurts at 6,500. I mean, this guy was as efficient as possible in their week 1 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this matchup isn't as good as it was against Atlanta. But San Francisco, their weakness is in the secondary. So if Jalen Hurts is going to continue to be this good with an upgraded receiving core with, Jalen Reagor kind of taking a step up this year, rookie Devontae Smith being the clear number one option on this team, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, they're both healthy right now. This team is completely healthy, and the offensive line is elite when healthy, and they are healthy right now. So I think Jalen Hurts is one of the better plays at the quarterback position. Probably going to be a little bit less owned than Dak Prescott for good reason. If you want a lower owned guy, maybe go to him. Go over to the implied, the over under right now. It is currently at 49.5, up 1.5 points. It was up 2 points, but as I refreshed this just before I recorded the video, it did drop half a point, but that doesn't concern me really at all. I think this is going to be one of the higher scoring games on the slate. And I like Jalen Hurts a ton, especially with his rushing upside. And then one last thing I wanted to mention that we want to monitor throughout the week. And, it's going to put a lot of people on it because it's going to be pretty big news if this does happen. The Chicago Bears and Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton probably didn't look that bad by Andy Dalton standards. But by NFL quarterback standards, yeah, he's pretty bad. And I would not be the slightest bit surprised if Justin Fields did indeed start in this game. We saw that what his rushing upside is in just limited snaps. He did score a rushing touchdown in week 1. If Fields does start ahead of Andy Dalton at $5,000, he's probably going to be a cash game lock for me. He's going to be pretty popular as well, just given the price discount you get on him comparative to the rest of the quarterbacks. Move over to the running back position. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey last week was the highest scoring, or the second highest scoring behind Joe Mixon, who was in a overtime game. But during regulation, Christian McCaffrey was the highest scoring running back in the league in PPR formats without scoring a touchdown. So PPR Team McCaffrey is fully back. If you can get to him at 9,900, I would feel very, very confident in doing that, especially against New Orleans. And this game should be a bit more competitive. And so while this game they'll either be playing behind, in my opinion, or in a neutral game script. So that's going to lead to a lot of Christian McCaffrey targets. Against the Jets, they were in control for the majority of the game, so he rushed more than he normally would. So maybe we see an increase in targets this game. Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, pretty similar situations as Christian McCaffrey, but to a lesser extent, and that's why you get the lowered price tag. Don't mind Nick Chubb against the Houston Texans. Would be mostly GPP for me just because he's not going to be involved all that much in the receiving game, but should be pretty big favorites against the Texans, despite what they did in week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Home favorites. Nick Chubb could see an uptick in carries in this week. Austin Eckler, I just wanted to mention, 0 targets this week, which was just bizarre to see, and he was splitting a lot of the snaps and carries with Roundtree. So I'm kind of on a wait and see approach with Austin Eckler, but in this game environment, we saw it last year where he started off the year with a game with, I believe, just 1 target, and then the next week he ended up catching a ton of balls. That could be a similar situation right here. So great GPP play in Austin Eckler against this Dallas Cowboys weak defense. And then we move down to guys like Naji Harris, Chris Carson, Darrell Henderson. These are the guys I'm really going to be focusing on. We go to the top running back shares, running back share in terms of backfield opportunities, carries, targets. Naji Harris played 100% of the snaps, got 100% of the targets and rush attempts for this Steelers team. Now he's only 6,300 against a Las Vegas team this game as home favorites being Pittsburgh. So I like Naji Harris a ton in a bounce back spot. I think his ownership is going to be a lot lower than it should be. I mean, look, his target share and carry percentage was higher than everybody in the league, higher than McCaffrey, Kamara, Dalvin Cook. I'm going to be going back to the well with Naji Harris, who I was pretty heavy on in week 1, especially over on FanDuel. Draftkings, I kind of went a different route with me shoving in all of the top running backs. but don't mind Naji Harris at all. And then Darrell Henderson, I'm so overweight in best balls and in fantasy leagues this week. And week 1 was a great sign for things to come for a guy like Darrell Henderson. Had 94% of the backfield opportunities. Sony Michel, probably still learning that playbook, but I think the Los Angeles Rams are just really condensing, where their opportunities go to. And so while I don't think it continues to be 94% backfield opportunities for a guy like Darrell Henderson, I think that he's still probably going to see like 75-80% of them. And with how good I think this Rams team is at 5,700, I absolutely love Darrell Henderson. Similar guys I like are like Joe Mixon, Chris Carson, who had a large majority of their backfield opportunities. And then Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, this is really what we're going to have to monitor throughout the week. Last week, we saw that Trey Sermon was a surprise inactive, which, we knew ahead of time, or they knew ahead of time that was going to happen. Didn't let any beat reporters know or anything like that, but there was talk that Elijah Mitchell was outperforming Trey Sermon, and so Sermon was a healthy inactive last week. Mitchell was presumed the backup role behind Raheem Mostert. Mostert ended up getting hurt early on in that game, and then Mitchell completely took over, and so he had, I believe, a 79% backfield opportunity share, and he is only $5,000. Ended up rushing the ball 19 times for 104 yards and a touchdown. They are favorites against the Philadelphia Eagles, although I do think it is a bit of a tougher defensive matchup than people may believe, with the Eagles being a lot healthier than they were last year. I expect Trey Sermon to be healthy and active in this game. Mitchell may end up getting the start, but if you want to be, and if Mitchell is probably, if he gets the start, he's going to be very, very popular at 5,000 for good reason. But Trey Sermon, he was drafted 3 rounds ahead of Elijah Mitchell, or was it 4? It was 3 or 4 rounds ahead of Mitchell. He is $400 cheaper at $4,600, and absolutely nobody is going to play him. I think that they end up running a hot hand approach. If Sermon gets in there and starts ripping off a couple of big runs, which he is fully capable of doing, he had a good preseason. He could take over this backfield in this game and in the future. So I think Mitchell in cash games is probably the smarter play, or this in single entry. But if you guys want to get a bit different, maybe go to a guy like Trey Sermon. Move over to wide receiver. Yeah, there's only a handful of guys that I'm really, really targeting in this slate, and that's again from that Dallas Cowboys and Chargers game with Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper. Keenan Allen, whenever he is healthy and playing the complete game with Justin Herbert, he has been a high-end wide receiver 1, and he is not priced as such. He's priced at $7,000. I think, honestly, with the floor that he possesses and the upside, while it's not as high as some of these other guys, the floor he possesses, I believe he should be in the high $7,000 range. So you're getting quite the discount for him at $7,000, and he has as good of a matchup as it gets against the Dallas Cowboys. And then on the opposite side, you get Amari Cooper at $6,800 and CeeDee Lamb at $6,400. Michael Gallup is going to be out for the foreseeable future, so we're going to have a rotation of guys like Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown at the wide receiver 3 spot. Their tight ends were a bit more involved than I thought they would be, and then we're going to get some targets out of the backfield from Zeke and Tony Pollard, but majority of these targets coming the ways of CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and I think they're just way too cheap. We saw down the stretch of the game that it was Amari Cooper that Dak was looking for when they were trying to catch up and get back into this game, which they almost won. Ended up with 16 targets. CeeDee Lamb ended up with 15 targets, 10 of those coming in the first half. So when the game really got away from them and they were really getting in a groove and coming back into the game, it was Amari Cooper that was taking advantage of that, and Dak was looking his way more than CeeDee Lamb. But regardless, I think both of these guys are great plays And then I think Mike Williams, a similar guy in this game, ended up with, I believe, 12 targets rather. He had a couple drops in the second half, which he could have had an even better game. I mean, we've been waiting for this guy to be healthy and, complete a full season. We'll see if he can continue that. And then Cooper Kupp at $6,000, 10 targets week 1 with new quarterback Matthew Stafford. The Los Angeles Rams looked absolutely amazing to me. I've been on Team Cooper Kupp over Robert Woods in best ball drafts and fantasy drafts, and it looked like the right choice, at least through week 1. Obviously, a lot can change throughout the season, but I do like Cooper Kupp moving forward. It looks like he's the go-to guy for the Rams, and this game could be a bit more competitive against Indianapolis Colts, because it was not very competitive against the Bears. So maybe they have to throw a bit more in this game, and it could benefit a guy like Cooper Kupp. And then down at the very, very bottom, if you guys are trying to fit in guys like McCaffrey, like I mentioned, Michael Gallup is out for the foreseeable future, so we're going to see guys like Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown kind of rotate out in the third wide receiver spot. I assume we see a lot more 2 tight end sets rather than playing Wilson and Brown, but if you guys want to dive down, you could play a guy like this. I think I prefer Wilson as of right now. Noah Brown was a healthy inactive last week. He did catch COVID, and he missed, but he was cleared before the game, so maybe the missed practice time, they decided to make him a healthy inactive. If he is active in this game, yeah, I think that more people are going to be on Wilson, but you could play Brown as a GPP pivot. Move over to the tight end spot. There's only a couple spots I'm really looking to as of right now, but the main guy is Noah Fant at 4,200. We saw last year when he is healthy, he is very, very good. And I think with Teddy Bridgewater, he's very, very accurate, kind of a game manager kind of guy. So game managing quarterbacks kind of go towards those low A-dot guys, especially in the red zone. Noah Fant ended up leading the team with 8 targets, and the biggest news is that Jerry Jeudy is going to be out for a while with an ankle sprain. I believe it was a high ankle sprain. So Noah Fant, already led the team with 8 targets last week. No Jerry Jeudy, who was kind of the go-to guy for Teddy Bridgewater. I absolutely love him this week at 4,200. Obviously, if you can get up to a guy like Darren Waller, I think he is a smash spot. And then Kyle Pitts, as bad as the Atlanta offense was, at least they were looking towards Kyle Pitts an absolute ton, especially in the first half. It looked like they were off a lot, and a lot of people played him. He was over 50% in majority of these contests. People are not going to play him, especially since they raised his price up to 5,200. But I think that the target share should be there, especially in a game where they are. I'm pretty positive they are going to be trailing in this game, unless they can somehow keep up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Kyle Pitts is somebody I'm not afraid of going back to the well with. But if you guys like this video, make sure to like it. Join the Discord if you haven't done so already. And also make sure to subscribe. That really helps me out. A lot more videos coming at you in the future. NBA season's right around the corner. Can't stop thinking about it. But appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck this week. And until next time, peace.